Welcome back everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing video where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins that have turned ordinary pocket change into life-changing fortunes. And today we are talking about one of the most unbelievable discoveries in the entire history of American coinage, the 1980 quarter dollar that has stunned collectors, experts, and treasure hunters around the world because of its unbelievable value of $18 million due to a series of astonishing minting errors, unique production flaws, and historical coincidences that make it one of the rarest and most desirable coins ever struck by the United States Mint. So if you've ever looked at a simple quarter and wondered whether it might be hiding an incredible secret, stay tuned because this story will open your eyes to the extraordinary mysteries hidden in everyday change and make you double-check every coin you own, since one small difference could turn your spare change into a millionaire's dream come true. The 1980 quarter dollar comes from the Denver Mint, one of the busiest mints in the country that produced millions upon millions of coins every year. But something strange happened that year. An extremely rare batch of quarters left the mint with a combination of errors so bizarre and so technically complex that experts can barely agree how they occurred. And those exact features are what made one of these coins worth a staggering $18 million to private collectors and museums who are willing to pay any price to own such a numismatic legend. To understand what makes this coin so valuable, we need to travel back in time to 1980. A year when the minting process was undergoing subtle technological transitions, as machines were being upgraded, dies were being retooled, and alloy consistency was shifting ever so slightly due to fluctuations in copper and nickel supply costs. During this period, it's believed that the Denver Mint experimented with new die setups that inadvertently produced a handful of coins with extraordinary misstrikes and die alignment problems that would later become the stuff of collector legends. One of the most astonishing features found on the $1 million 1980 quarter is what experts describe as a triple die obverse error, where the design on the front of the coin, Washington's profile, appears to have been struck multiple times slightly off alignment, creating an overlapping effect that gives his facial outline, hair details, and lettering a ghost-like duplication. Under magnification, you can see multiple impressions of the date 1980 and the letter D, stacked faintly yet clearly visible, proving that the die used had shifted slightly between strikes. This type of error normally would have been caught during mint inspection, but somehow, due to the extreme production volume that year, a few slipped through unnoticed. In addition to the triple die obverse, the coin also exhibits a dramatic off-center strike, meaning that when it was pressed, the blank planchette wasn't perfectly aligned with the dies, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing or shifted toward the rim, revealing raw metal along one side. Collectors absolutely love such off-center errors, but when combined with multiple die strikes and a Denver Mint mark misplacement, the coin becomes exponentially more desirable. What's even more fascinating is that this particular coin also shows signs of being a transitional planchette error, meaning it may have been struck on a blank intended for another denomination or a slightly different composition. There are reports suggesting that a few 1980 quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for Susan B. Anthony dollars or even foreign coin stock, which gives them unusual weight and a distinct ring when dropped on a hard surface. Imagine holding a quarter that sounds different, weighs differently, and looks slightly off. It would feel strange but intriguing, and those tiny differences are what make such coins so rare and valuable. Another contributing factor to its astronomical price is the pristine condition in which the known 1980 era coin has been preserved. Many quarters from the 1980s circulated heavily, showing scratches, wear, and discoloration. But this particular coin was reportedly discovered in a Federal Reserve bag that never entered circulation, meaning its surfaces remained untouched by human hands for decades. Graded by top-tier grading companies as an MS-68 or higher, the mirror-like luster and sharply defined details make it not just a rarity by error type but also a rarity by condition, a combination that collectors dream about but seldom encounter. Experts also speculate that the die used for this coin was part of a short-lived experimental run, possibly replaced early due to the same alignment issues that caused the error, meaning the die's lifespan may have produced only a handful of coins before being retired, and if those few examples survived, each would be worth a fortune today. The most mind-blowing aspect, however, is the mystery surrounding how a coin like this managed to escape the mint's strict quality control. Some believe that during high-volume production years, when the mints were under intense pressure to meet demand, minor anomalies were overlooked or even intentionally allowed through by mint employees who recognized the rarity potential. There are also whispers of insider activity, where mint workers may have noticed these peculiar strikes and kept them aside, later releasing them into circulation in small quantities. Whether accidental or intentional, the fact remains that the 1980 D quarter with these errors exists and is considered a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The coin's reverse side also adds another layer of intrigue. It displays partial doubling on the word United and visible die cracks that run from the rim toward the eagle's wings, forming a spiderweb-like pattern of raised metal lines. Die cracks occur when a die begins to fracture under stress, and instead of engraving into the coin, it allows metal to flow into the cracks, leaving raised lines. This defect makes each coin unique, like a fingerprint of its die's final moments before failure. When collectors find coins that show evidence of a failing die, it adds character and storytelling to the piece, which further enhances its value. Adding to the curiosity, the edge of the coin also reveals unusual reading patterns, where the tiny ridges appear inconsistent, with areas showing faint or missing reads entirely. This suggests that the coin may have been struck slightly off pressure or during a transition of the collar die, the part that shapes the coin's edge. For advanced numismatists, such a combination of multi-error characteristics, triple die strike, off-center alignment, transitional planchette, die cracks, and reading anomalies, makes this coin practically a miracle of minting accidents, a textbook example of what happens when multiple rare factors converge in a single piece of metal. It's this convergence that has made collectors willing to pay millions for it, driving up the price at auctions where wealthy enthusiasts compete to own the most spectacular errors ever found. But the story doesn't end there. The provenance of the $18 million 1980 D quarter is equally fascinating. It reportedly surfaced when a private collector in Colorado purchased a bag of unsearched quarters directly from a bank in the early 2000s. Hidden among the ordinary coins, he noticed one that looked slightly different under light. Its unusual shine, double date, and off-center strike caught his attention, and upon professional authentication, the coin was declared a major mint error of national significance. Word spread quickly through the numismatic community, and soon, private offers reached astonishing heights. After multiple rounds of expert verification and press coverage, the coin was insured and eventually auctioned privately to a buyer believed to be a billionaire collector from Asia with a passion for American era coins. Since then, it has been featured in numismatic exhibitions and referenced in collector journals as one of the most valuable modern quarters in existence. What makes this story even more incredible is that there may be more examples out there, waiting to be discovered. Many collectors now hunt 1980 D quarters obsessively, checking every detail, weight, and sound to see if they might own a similar treasure. Because of its fame, counterfeiters have also tried to replicate the look of the 1980 D era, but trained experts can easily identify the real deal through metallurgical testing, die markers, and microscopic study of the strike pattern. The genuine coin has certain telltale features that cannot be faked, such as the precise angle of the doubling, the unique shape of the D mintmark shift, and the exact distribution of the die cracks. Next, 1995p $2 coin. Today we are talking about one of the most unbelievable discoveries in modern American coinage history, the legendary 1995p $2 coin that has shocked the numismatic community and sent treasure hunters racing to their coin jars, because this single small coin, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, has been valued at an astonishing $15 million due to an incredible combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and rare conditions that have made it one of the most sought after and mysterious quarters ever to exist. So if you're someone who's ever wondered if a coin in your pocket could make you a millionaire, stay tuned, because this story will open your eyes to how one small piece of metal, worth only 25 cents in face value, can rise to become a fortune-making miracle worth more than a mansion, luxury cars, or even a private island, all because of a few microscopic but powerful mistakes that changed everything. Now let's imagine the year 1995, when the Philadelphia Mint was operating at full capacity, producing billions of coins for circulation across the country, and during that high-speed minting frenzy, something extraordinary happened that would only be discovered decades later when a few lucky collectors realized they were holding something incredibly unique, because within the production lines of those ordinary quarters, a few coins were struck under strange and unprecedented conditions, giving birth to one of the most mysterious error types ever documented on a modern United States quarter, and one of those exact pieces would go on to fetch a valuation of $15 million due to its combination of double strikes, transitional planchet, misaligned die, and reverse design misfeed. The 1995 P quarter's fame begins with its obverse design, where George Washington's iconic profile, which we've seen on billions of quarters since 1932, appears to have been struck not once but twice, slightly offset, resulting in what numismatists call a double die or doubled strike obverse error. This doubling is not the kind you get from wear or damage, it's an actual doubling created during the die creation process itself, where the master die or working hub shifted slightly between strikes when transferring the design. As a result, on the real 1995 P-era quarter, you can see doubling clearly in Washington's eye, the words "Liberty, in God we trust," and especially in the date 1995, where the numbers show faint overlapping outlines that look like ghost images. Under magnification, these details pop out vividly, confirming it as a true die variety and not post-mint damage. Collectors love such double die coins, especially when they appear on denominations like quarters that are heavily used and not often found in pristine condition, and this one became legendary for the sharpness and clarity of its doubling. But the story doesn't end there. What truly made this 1995 P quarter a phenomenon was that it also exhibits a dramatic reverse side error. The eagle on the back appears distorted, partially rotated, and slightly misaligned, as if the die twisted during striking. Experts refer to this as a rotated die error, and in extreme cases like this one, the rotation can exceed 90 degrees, meaning the reverse design is turned sideways or even upside down compared to the obverse. That kind of minting blunder is virtually impossible under modern quality control, making this coin not just rare, but historically significant. Combine that with the doubling on the obverse, and you have two major errors on one coin, something that exponentially multiplies its value. Even more astonishing is that metallurgical analysis suggests this coin was struck on a transitional planchet, possibly leftover stock from the previous year's test runs for special compositions or different denominations. Reports indicate that the coin weighs slightly more than standard, with an unusual color tone that suggests a different alloy mixture, possibly due to copper-to-nickel ratio inconsistencies or planchet contamination from another denomination like the dime or half dollar. This means the 1995 P $15 million quarter may not only be a double die and rotated die error, but also a planchet anomaly, which is practically unheard of in modern minting history. To make matters even more complex, the reeded edge on this coin displays faint gaps and missing reeds, suggesting the collar die, the device that forms the coin's edge, was either damaged or improperly set during striking. Such inconsistencies make this coin an extraordinary combination of multiple errors that could only happen under perfect storm conditions inside the mint. Normally, any one of these mistakes would have been caught immediately and destroyed, but the Philadelphia Mint in 1995 was working at peak volume, striking millions of quarters per day, and sometimes even the most advanced inspection systems can fail to detect a few anomalies. It's believed that this particular coin slipped through in one of those rare blind spots of production and entered circulation unnoticed. For years it may have changed hands in everyday transactions, hidden in plain sight, until a keen-eyed collector noticed something was different. The discovery story itself is as thrilling as the coin's physical attributes. In the late 2000s, a Pennsylvania man who had been collecting coins casually from bank rolls spotted what he thought was a double die quarter. Upon closer inspection, he realized the coin's weight and alignment were off. He sent it to a professional grading service, and after weeks of testing, the experts confirmed it was one of the most complex error coins ever seen on a US quarter. The coin was given an extraordinary grade of mint state 68, indicating near-perfect preservation, with flawless surfaces, sharp detail, and a bright, reflective luster that made the doubling even more striking. When the numismatic world heard about this coin, it caused an uproar. Collectors, auction houses, and private investors all wanted a piece of the story. Initially valued in the hundreds of thousands, it didn't take long before private offers skyrocketed into the millions as major collectors realized how unique this specimen was. Eventually, after years of negotiations and appraisals, the coin's estimated insurance value reached $15 million, solidifying its status as one of the most valuable modern quarters ever known. The coin's surfaces show extraordinary die polishing lines, indicating that mint technicians attempted to clean or repair the die before striking, possibly to extend its lifespan. These faint lines give the coin a radiant texture under magnification and add to its uniqueness. Another remarkable feature is the faint die crack running from Washington's hairline toward the rim, a sign that the die was beginning to fail. Die cracks are like fingerprints. Each one is unique to its die, meaning no two coins struck from that damaged die will look exactly alike. This further confirms that the 1995 $15 million quarter came from a specific short-run die pair, which might have only produced a handful of coins before being retired or destroyed. Experts believe fewer than 5 coins with similar characteristics could exist, but only one verified specimen has ever surfaced publicly. The Philadelphia Mint, when questioned about the anomaly, declined to comment on specific cases but acknowledged that during the mid-1990s, high-speed coin presses occasionally caused alignment and pressure problems that could create doubled designs or off-center strikes. Still, the combination of multiple rare errors seen on this coin remains unexplained, making it a genuine mystery. The condition of the coin also contributes significantly to its value. Unlike most quarters from that era, which were heavily circulated and show significant wear, this coin appears to have never been used in commerce. It was likely taken directly from a mint-sealed bag, stored carefully for years, and only later examined closely enough to reveal its hidden secrets. Such preservation allows collectors to study every detail in its pristine state, which is invaluable for research and authentication. The visual impact of the doubling on the obverse, the striking rotation of the reverse, and the luster of the metal combine to make this coin not just an error but a masterpiece of accidental artistry. For coin enthusiasts, it's a reminder of how even the most controlled industrial processes can yield moments of beauty through imperfection. Now, what makes this even more fascinating is that the 1995 P quarter represents a turning point in US minting history, the transition from purely mechanical die production to more automated digital systems, meaning that the human error factor was diminishing rapidly.